Okay, so the first question that I had was this. My providers get so frustrated when I query them or tell them the chart is not closed. How can I improve my relationship with them and their office staff? I always tell them to let me know if they need anything from me. And of course, please and thank you. This is such a common problem all the time with, providers and talking to the billers to get particular information, and it can be very frustrating, and the providers don't like to be bothered. Okay, so the first thing is that you want to make the query simple and easy for the provider to respond to. Inform the provider ahead of time that he or she may be queried a lot initially, and that is part of the educational process, and that once they get the hang of it and they learn what we need, because we're consistently like repeating the same thing over and over again, we just reassure them that they won't be bothered so much. So you want to remain pleasant and professional. But what I have found in my years of experience, and it really provides a jolt, is to link money to everything that they're doing wrong. So for example, we cannot bill out or code anything from a provider's office, even if it's all there in the medical record, unless the note is locked. And you can go and call the office manager, you can email the provider, call the provider, nothing. And it gets so frustrating because you're dealing with time constraints with your filing. So what I do is, if I have like a provider that has 20 unlocked records that need to be coded and billed, I'll say the total amount of billing for these 20 is $18,000. And you would be getting approximately $9,000 for that, but I can't bill it out. And 9 of these fall under our Medicare HMO, Medicare Advantage. We only have 60 days to file it. The other 8 are like regular HMOs, 90 days, and then there were 3 Medicares. When you put dollar amounts next to that and the notes are not locked, but even if you're querying about information on documentation so you can code, let them know. They don't like knowing that they might lose money. And so you can be as professional as you want and whatever, but put a dollar amount next to it.
That's brilliant. Money talks.
And really, even as far as like an office manager not updating patient files, and you get hundreds of mail back for bills that go out, and these doctors pay every month for postage, and no matter what we did to complain, nothing. So one day we shipped it all back, and the package had to be a foot high. And boy, when they saw how much mail got returned because they weren't doing their job, it changed. So, but it all has to link to the money. So the other thing is, if you want to make it as easy as possible for the doctor, so you want to send them a query. And the biggest thing, and I've done a webinar on this before, but you want to make it as simple as possible, but you can never lead the doctor on and say, is this diabetes, mellitus 2 or with neuropathy? You can't read it and ask them if that's what it should be coded, because that's you're suggesting that, and that's not right. So you document if you agree the patient has chronic diastolic heart failure. That's a leading question. You cannot do that. So what I typically do until the doctors get so sick of it, and I just inundate and just reassure them that when they see it enough, it'll sink in, and then I won't bother them anymore. So something like this, that would be a template. It is not noted in the impression of the H&P that the patient has chronic congestive heart failure, and a recent echo noted under the cardiac review of systems reveals an ejection fraction of 25%. Can the chronic heart failure be further specified as? And then they can just check off, you do all of this, and it's a lot of work in your part, but honestly, they eventually, between linking a dollar amount and having it all out there for them, they end up getting it, because they really get mad when you bother them all the time. But if they know they're going to lose money and you have it all, I email through the electronic medical record as well. So you have a paper trail, so you cover in yourself and you don't get in trouble. So if the provider is reassured that he or she learns and acts accordingly from the numerous queries, they will soon be left alone, and they will tend to learn fast. And secondly, as I said, money talks. So providers want every penny that they can collect. And if you show them how much money they can lose by not locking their notes quickly and multiply that amount to show a month's worth, they'll cringe, and you'll see immediate response. And that's my answer for, trying to work with the doctors. It's not easy, but you have to be very upbeat and positive. But don't you love that picture? I love that girl's picture. I don't know.
I like that too.
Do you need more medical certification and business training? Learn more at www.cco.us.